All right, kiddos, here we go. Welcome to this video lesson. This video lesson is called Compound Inequalities, right? Conjunctions. But it's also, where is it? There it is. Graphing. Right? Graphing. Compound inequalities, conjunctions, graphing. So let's review here that. Pick another color, blue. So let's remember that our notes here says combination, right? When we think of combination, we think of the word and, right? We're combining things. So we say and, right? Right. And means together as well. We are putting things together. Apples and oranges are on the same cart, right? Macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly together, right? So, first thing we got to do is we got to look at the instructions. Always the instructions. Solve each compound inequality and graph its solution. In the previous assignment, we didn't have to graph because it didn't say graph. But this one says graph. So we have to graph. So let's do it. Right? So as you can see here, I see an and there. So that means that these are two problems. So let's do the two problems. X over 18 is less than -1. And x minus 29 is greater than -61. Look at that. And means two things, right? So we're doing two things. So let's do the first one here. So I'm going to draw my line of separation here. I'm not going to draw my arrow yet because I'm not sure if I'm dividing or multiplying by a negative. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying on this side. So I'm going to cross out 18 and I'm going to multiply by 18 here. So I bring down my x. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not a -18. So I am not multiplying by -18, even though, yeah, there's a negative there. But this 18 is not negative. So I am not going to flip my arrow. Not going to flip it. -1 times 18 is -18. Look at that. That's my first part. Beautiful, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's do this part right here now. Second part. And, right? And means two. There's two solutions, two things. So let's draw my line of separation. -29. The opposite of minus 29 is plus 29. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cross out -29. I'm going to add 29. I bring down my x. I didn't multiply or divide anything, so my arrow just comes down. So -61 and positive 29 are not the same signs. So that means I'm going to subtract. So 61 minus 29 is 32. And it's a -32 because 61 is bigger and 61 is a negative. So here's my second solution. So I'm going to graph these two. But watch what I'm going to do, okay? You guys pay very close attention to this. You see this x is less than -18? Well, this is going to be open circle because I don't have a minus sign under here. Open circle on -18. And we're going to graph to the left because you use your left hand, to make these scissors. So this is less than. So x is less than -18. So open circle on -18, which is right here. And I'm going to graph to the left. But before you graph, guys, this is what I want you to recognize. Look at this here. This is a -32. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to graph to -32. So I'm going to keep going, -24, -26, -28. I'm going to stop right before -32. And we're going to see why. So we took care of this one. Now let's go take care of this bad boy here. So this says open circle, right? Because we only have greater than. There's no equal sign there. Open circle. Open circle on negative 32. And we're going to graph to the right because we use our right hand to make these scissors. So open circle on negative 32. And we're going to graph to the right. But look. Look at that. It's everything in the middle here. And, right? Technically, I could keep going all the way this way for negative 32. I could keep going all the way that way for negative 18. But this says and. I want to know what they have in common. You know? What do dogs and cats have in common? They're pets. They wear collars. They have fur. I don't want to know they're different. I want to know what's the same. And the thing that's the same about this graph is this middle area right there. So that means that if we choose any number from this middle area to go here and here, it's going to work. It's going to come out in a positive solution. It's going to work. If I pick any number here, it's not going to work. It's probably going to work on this one, but it's not going to work on this one. If I pick a number that went this way, well, this went all the way, right? So it's going to work on this one for sure, but it's not going to work on that one. But I want and. Where does it work on both? Right there. See? Right there. That's where it works on both. And that's our first example. Look at that. That's what that looks like. Okay. Let's do our second example. So, again, it says and. So I need to do two problems. K over 39 is greater than 0. And negative 38. K is greater than or equal to negative 570. I think I'm going to need my calculator for this one because those are big numbers. Right? So let's do this one here first. Right? So let's draw our line of separation here. So this says dividing by 39. Well, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to cross out 39 and I'm going to multiply by 39. So I bring down my k. I did not multiply by a negative. This 39 is not negative. So my arrow is going to stay the same. And 0 times 39 is easy, right? 0. Look at that right there. So that's my first solution, right? But this says and. So I got to do my second solution here, right? So draw my line of separation, right? So this says negative 38 times k. So the opposite of multiplying when I cross it out is dividing. So when I cross out negative 38, I'm going to divide by negative 38. So I'm going to bring down my k. I know you guys spotted it already. Mister, you're dividing by a negative. Exactly. And when we divide by a negative, this guy is going to flip to that. Perfect, guys. Perfect. This is going to flip. And I'm going to use my calculator here. Let's see. 570 divided by 38 is equal to 15. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So we get positive 15. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So here we have our two answers, right? So let's start by graphing this one here. So k is greater than 0. So it is not going to be a closed circle because, look, I don't have that equal sign there. It's not there. It's going to be an open circle on 0. And I'm going to graph to the right because I use my right hand to make those scissors right there. So open circle on 0. Right? Open circle on 0. But I'm going to pay attention. I'm not going to go past 15. So let me graph here. So 15. So I'm going to graph 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so I took care of that one. Let's do this guy right here. Okay, so this says K is less than or equal to, look at this equal right here. That means it's going to be a closed circle on 15. Closed circle on 15. So let's put the closed circle. So if this is 14 and this is 16, then 15 is in the middle. So I'm going to put a closed circle on 15 just like that. Now, which way do I graph? Let's go see here. What hand do I use to make these scissors? I use my left hand, right? Because that's going to be less than. So I'm going to graph to the left. So I'm going to graph and go all the way, and I'm going to stop right there. So this is where they cross. This is where they match. It's and. Look at that. Any number here will be the solution to this problem and this problem. Perfect. Look at that. So we have 2 examples down. Perfect, everyone. Make sure you're copying, right, your notes. The bottom one's going to be easier, you'll see. So here we have a conjunction. Conjunction means that both of these are together. Look, it's all just one piece. There's no and. I don't see an and anywhere. So let's copy it down. -2 is less than m over 14 is less than -1. So this is dividing by 14. So the opposite of dividing by 14 is multiplying by 14. So I'm going to cross out 14 and I'm going to multiply by 14. But wait a minute. Guys, this poor -2 over here is jealous. He's like telling this dude, hey, how come you went over there, dude? Why don't you come over here too? He has to do that. This 14's got to come over here too. So this is going to be times 14 on this side as well. So times 14 on this side as well. Well, I don't have to flip the arrows because this is a positive 14 and this is a positive 14. So let's start multiplying. 14 times -2 is -28. Is less than m is less than -1 times 14 is -14. Now what's great about this, guys, is look, m is in the middle. That means you're going to shade everything between -28 and -14. And they're both going to be open circle, look, because there's no equal and there's no equal. So open circle on -28, which is right there. Open circle on -14, which is right there. And just like this, everything's in the middle. We're going to graph everything in the middle. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Finally, one last problem, right? But we're lucky because look, it's also a compound inequality. They're together. So let's draw 12 is less than or equal to m plus 28 is less than 42. So I want to get this guy by itself. So the opposite of plus 28 is minus 28, right? So I'm going to cross out this plus 28 and I'm going to do minus 28. But wait a minute. Whatever I do with this 42, this dude wants some love too. Minus 28. So this is a positive 12 technically, right? So that means that I gotta put minus 28 on this side too. Just like that. So now let's combine like terms. A negative 28 and a positive 12 are not the same sign, so I have to subtract. 28 minus 12 is 16. And it's a negative 16 because 28 is bigger and 28 is a negative. I bring down my less than or equal to arrow. I bring down my m. I bring down my less than. Then I do 42 minus 28 is 14. And it's a positive 14 because 42 is bigger and 42 is a positive, right? So that means that everything between negative 16 and 14 is going to be shaded. But look, this negative 16 is next to the equal. So on negative 16, I'm going to have a closed circle. So negative 16, I'm going to do a closed circle just like this. Right? But on 14, look at 14, it does not have an equal sign. So that means that 14 is going to have a open circle. So that's going to be, let's see. So it's going by twos. Look, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 14 is right there. Open circle. And I'm going to graph everything in between. Graph. And there you go. Uh-oh, got to finish it up. There you go. That's my solution right there. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so this right here, kiddos, are my notes for compound inequalities, conjunctions, graphing video lesson. Okay, make sure that you rewind if there's nothing that you want, if there's something that you didn't understand, right? Or if there's a question that I asked and you weren't sure, make sure you watch again, right? Rewatch. Thank you.